Welcome back to the Unbiased Opinion, where everyone's opinion is biased except ours. This is our 33rd episode of doing this nonsense. I'm Colin.
I'm Craig.
And I'm Daniel.
And today we have the Top Gun duology, in spirit of the new Top Gun movie coming out at this point almost 2 months ago. So the first Top Gun movie came out in 1986 and had a younger Tom Cruise, a young Tom Cruise. He was like 24 in this movie. And I guess I should say, for me personally, I saw Top Gun Maverick before I saw this. But I've always heard that the first Top Gun movie was the most homoerotic thing ever. So, just want to throw that out there. Me personally, I didn't think it was homoerotic, but just some dudes playing some volleyball.
That's the thing about this movie. Like, a lot of the things I hear about, like, the homoerotic, and people say it's also like really good. I don't agree with either of those things. But
I think, we should do general impressions of the first one. I think it's a giant mixed bag with not a lot of story going on.
Yeah, I would agree.
What about you, Craig? You said you didn't really like it.
it's more of like this is like a cultural movie where people always talk about Top Gun. They reference it constantly, and like the Danger Zone song and all the stuff in the movie.
The Need for Speed.
Yeah, like now that I've finally seen it, it's like, oh, that's the movie everyone's always referencing. Like, it's not bad, but I guess not great either. Where it should be, getting a sequel almost 40 years later.
Well, it could be that when it came out, it was like super cool and popular. So maybe it's all the boomers who saw it and were like, "This is the greatest thing."
Since sliced bread.
I think the biggest problem, as I said, is it doesn't have a story. You have the general idea where they're trying to compete for that spot to be in the Top Gun, but other than that, nothing really happens besides everyone like screwing around for almost an hour, or for over an hour, until the very end when they graduate, and then they have to stop those 3 jets by the hangar, or by the giant destroyer in the sea.
But even then too, like, they're competing for the top spot, and they don't really like give you like a sense of like where they are in the rankings. Like, yeah, he's at the top, but like there's no like, will he, you know what I mean? Like, there's not properly like, I'm trying to find the words to say, but like, you are invested as him getting the top thing, because there's no real progression of him getting to the top. It's like he's just the reckless guy. He's near the top, and then he's not at the top because his partner dies.
Which is, they try to tell Tom Cruise that it's not his fault that Goose died. It kind of is. He put them in that situation.
Yeah, that's what when I was watching it, when they're like, "It's not your fault. You could have accounted for like a jet lag."
No, he flew
Right.
in the jet stream behind.
No, the jet stream. That's what it was. Is like I'm pretty sure that would be like a thing that not to do. Is you don't go right up behind another jet. That's why usually they're flying like either parallel or off centered from each other.
Well, like I said, it's half his fault, because if they did leave the or eject properly, he wouldn't have, died on impact.
Well, it's kind of silly how Goose died, where it was like a malfunction and his head hit hit the cockpit when it was ejecting. It was kind of silly.
And I know, like, they were trying to say it's not his fault. You have people die and move on, but it's like this was like a training exercise. It wasn't like, he died in an actual engagement where he was doing what he would have, how he wanted to have died, so to speak. He just died like a punk.
Yeah, his commanding officer's just like, yeah, brush it off. Like, you're gonna lose many more. I'm like, they haven't even gotten to combat yet.
Like, I
People
get
aren't
that
supposed to
mentality.
die in training exercises, though.
Yeah.
Well, also, Iceman was partially at blame too because he didn't move out of the way.
He would take the shot.
Leave Iceman out of it, all right? A lot of people also said that Iceman's like the big villain, and he's kind of right about Tom Cruise in this movie. I didn't find him to be a villain. I found him to be very reasonable. He was concerned about the safety of everyone else when Tom Cruise is showing off and, doing Tom Cruise things.
Yeah, that was the one thing too I was gonna say is he wasn't an antagonist, he was just a rival to him. And like you were saying, he's pretty reasonable about his caution with him.
It wasn't like he was going into their locker room and just slapping water on him and Goose's face.
Yeah, or like he's like trying to like get them to crash like an over the top '80s
Yeah,
villain.
he's not trying to sabotage their jet by like taking out a bunch of wires.
He cuts he dismantles their wheels. Welcome to Top Gun.
Or as he's walking by the hangar before they take off, he has like a lollipop in his mouth and he throws in the engine. Whoops! And just throws it in.
It's sort of like he, I don't know, sabotaged it. So like they're flying, that's how they went to the tailspin. He sabotaged it.
He has like a remote control device on it, and he's secretly controlling it, not Tom Cruise.
I was gonna say, like, he was actually a nice guy. Like when Goose died, he came and consoled him. Like he wasn't trying to rub it in his face or anything. Like he was genuinely remorseful and offering genuine sympathy.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people just exaggerated about the details about the first Top Gun. Oh, it's very homoerotic. It's really one scene, and it's just dudes playing volleyball. They talk about Iceman, and he's really not a villain.
I was gonna say the only scene I thought was kind of weird, like when he bit in his face, like when they were in the locker room.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. That scene.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know what he's trying to do with that, but
Just a bunch of hot shots. I don't know. I guess that's what they do at Top Gun. I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know. I'm just saying.
I guess the only scene I like thoroughly enjoyed was the ending fight scene. I thought that was done well.
With the jets.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we also have to take into account that this is the mid '80s. They were doing this
No,
stuff.
no, that's what. No, I mean, like I enjoyed it. Like that was probably the scene, like the only scene I was like kind of really, or like I guess invested in. It like
Yeah.
actually grabbed my attention. The rest of it kind of, I was indifferent to. I don't know.
I think a big problem also is that the movie's kind of boring. I was not entertained at all, really. Because, like I said, there isn't really a plot to it. It's them screwing around until they graduate. And then they're like, you got to go in those jets and fight those people.
And then, well, don't forget that he's trying to prove a point because his dad was a fighter pilot in Nam.
Well, yeah, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Is like that. That's like most of the movie is like them telling him he's being too much of a hothead, and then the other guy's like, oh yeah, and like him trying to live up to his dad, but like that's about it.
Yeah. Craig, you got other ideas, other thoughts?
Um, Not really. I mean, like again, I just feel like when people talk about it, I feel like when people talk about it, haven't seen it because, like, from what people have said about it versus actually seeing it, it's almost like two different movies. Like you'd swear people like Tom Cruise and like Iceman have made out in a scene, like the way people talk about it.
Yeah. I mean, they came across as like genuinely close friends. You know,
Wait, who, Goose or
yeah, Tom
Iceman?
Cruise and Goose.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, people don't seem to know what friends are anymore. Like, because this is like a common thing I see, like in Frodo and Sam. People think like they're attracted to each other. Like, no, 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 they're just
They
good
have to
friends.
ship. They have to ship everyone, Craig.
Yeah, people who think like that, uh, something's wrong with them mentally. Like, that's not normal to think like that.
I mean, it's
Gotta be
one thing
careful.
if like Tom Cruise slapped his butt and then just like started biting his ear. That's one thing. But they were just like close friends. They sang "Great Balls of Fire" together on the piano with Goose's
Yeah,
son.
yeah, I was gonna say Goose is married with a kid.
Yeah, they're talking like all the women Tom Cruise has tried to get.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just genuinely close friends, and you could, at least in the movie, you could feel that. You could tell that
Yeah.
they got along.
Well,
They
also
weren't. It
too,
wasn't
like
like something uncomfortable you were watching where you could tell that the co-stars hated each other. It wasn't anything like that.
I mean, they're also like with the intention of they're going to be flying, doing missions together. This is your combat buddy. You should be pretty close to him.
Yeah, this is the guy you could die with.
Yeah.
That's the thing too. Like you're in the military, like you're supposed to have this kind of camaraderie, which people don't really have anymore. But you're supposed to have, like, it's not gay. It's normal to be close friends with the people you serve.
Be careful, Craig. One of our subscribers might be shipping all three of us together, and we don't even know it.
Yeah, it's probably Peg.
That'd be very weird.
Creepy rat.
He hate watches us.
Yeah, there really wasn't much to this movie. There's
I guess
not
besides
really any
those,
substance to it.
Yeah, besides, I guess you could say more the infamous or iconic, the beach scene and the Great Balls of Fire scene, because I feel like everyone. I mean, I knew of that scene before seeing the movie, even before seeing the new one. I knew of it, like those two scenes. But it's just like people really like the first one, and like I said, I personally didn't really like it. It was okay.
Yeah, I just kind of was indifferent to it. Like, it just, the only scene I was anything invested in was the ending fight scene. That was about it.
Like, unless you're really interested in fighter jets or whatever, I don't know how much people are gonna like it.
And this is one thing that I noticed too, that every guy in the movie looks like they're from a Sears catalog or something, or like some kind of model magazine. And then Goose just looks like a dork with a mustache. Looks like a dork. Any final thoughts?
Oh, so one thing.
Oh yeah.
You know the dentist system episode?
Oh my
I found out about that
god.
reference. I didn't know. I had no idea what they were referring to. I thought it was just Dennis being weird, but now I know what they're referring to now.
Oh, the love scene.
Yeah.
Oh, and they had the exact same song playing.
Yeah, in the same shot. I had, I had no idea because I'd never seen this movie before.
All right, shut up. So I
I'm
guess we
just
could
saying.
get to
Slacker.
now the sequel. Yeah, Strickland was in it. The sequel, Top Gun Maverick, which came out 36 years after the original. And hearing about it, I was like, why would anyone want a sequel to this?
Yeah, I mean, really.
I even remember seeing the trailers, and I wasn't impressed. I was kind of like rolling my eyes thinking, why would they be doing this? It's not like the first Top Gun was critically acclaimed. It got some pretty mixed reviews. Even contemporary reviews are still mixed. It has a 56% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 50 on Metacritic. So it wasn't like you were, or 58%. It wasn't like you were doing this long-awaited sequel to a critically acclaimed movie. It was just some kind of okay-ish 80s movie. And then the reviews started to come out, and it's been getting like flawless reviews, which shocked me. I was completely surprised.
Yeah, because like this is something I probably wouldn't have seen if it wasn't getting such good reviews.
It has a 97% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Really?
A 97%.
Wow.
It has a 99% audience rating. And 98% on all. That's verified, the 99. So originally, Craig wanted to see this before we saw Jurassic World 3, but we had to see Jurassic World 3 first.
Well, I was saying if I had a choice between this or Jurassic World 3, I was like, well, let's watch this one. This one's at least getting good reviews.
Yeah, no, we
Seems
made a
like
grave
an actual
mistake.
movie.
Yeah.
No, you made a grievous mistake.
You're trying to pin it on me.
And this movie, a couple weeks ago, crossed over the a billion mark. It's the highest grossing movie of Tom Cruise's career, which is a little shocking. I was always under the impression maybe he got over a billion, but before this, his highest grossing was Mission Impossible Fallout, and that didn't even crack 800.
It's kind of surprising too with how big of a movie star he is.
Well, he probably gets all the consistent
Yeah, I was gonna
successes.
say.
It's no Robert Downey Jr. where it's $1 billion every time.
It's not even
Same
just
as
him. It's
Marvel.
because he's in Marvel, not because he's like the big. I mean, he is a good actor and a draw, but it's not
He was
just because of
also one
him.
of the highest paid
It's
actors of all
it's
time.
it's not like Vin Diesel and Fast and Furious cracking $1 billion.
And probably the biggest surprise of the movie for me, because as soon as it started, I saw someone's name, and I don't know if this guy's name means anything to you guys. His name is Eron Kruger.
Oh, I know who that is.
I know his. I'm familiar with his filmography, and in case you're not, Daniel, I'm going to tell you some of his greatest work. He wrote Scream 3. He wrote The Ring. He wrote Rings. He wrote The Skeleton Key, The Brothers Grimm. He co-wrote Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen with Roberto Orci and Alex Kurtzman. He wrote Transformers: Dark of the Moon. He wrote Transformers: Age of Extinction. He co-wrote Ghost in the Shell. He wrote Dumbo. And I was thinking, like, could they have not found a worse guy to co-write this? Like, is this a joke?
I didn't know he worked on it, but I know the name because I know he worked on the Transformers movies.
Yeah, he has a screenplay by credit, and he shares it with 2 other people. But just seeing his name on it, I was like, oh no.
Yeah, yeah. How do you land this job with all that?
Maybe he contributed to an old draft of the script, and then they just the Writers Guild can be kind of weird with how credit works. Remember we talked about a couple weeks ago how Colin Trevorrow and Derek Connolly are being scumbags about writing
Yeah.
credit on Jurassic World. It's a weird process. Now let's get to general impressions of the movie before we talk about it in depth. I love this movie. I really enjoyed it. Might be one of the best movies I've seen in a couple of years.
Wow, high praise.
Yes.
I mean, well, let's put a disclaimer, Craig. We didn't touch on how much Colin loves Tom Cruise.
I do. I do.
Oh yeah, you got posters of him all over your room, like you got a shrine to him.
Yeah, well, I pray to that every night. And I read the doctrines of Scientology every night.
Of course.
We all have our people. I got The Rock.
J.J. Abrams from Craig.
God.
But what did you guys think of the movie?
I liked it a lot too. Probably not as much as you. I mean, I felt like this was a much like it was definitely, you could definitely feel that it was like a remake or a reboot. Like a lot of the same structures there, but it's just done like 10 times better because there's an actual plot and they're actually building towards something as opposed to just screwing around the whole movie.
Yes, that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. But Daniel, you go.
Yeah, I was very surprised how much I enjoyed this movie. Um, but I was gonna say I really like because main difference between this one and the first one is this one actually had depth and like the characters actually had something to them, and like Craig was saying, like they're working towards something, and there are payoffs, and with scenes and callbacks and stuff. So
There's actual character drama in this movie.
yeah,
So first things first. As I said, I did not see this, or I did not see the first one before I saw this. So I had no idea that this one started exactly like the first one, which I guess is a nice touch. I had no idea the first one was like that, like with the credits and whatnot. And yes, the best thing about this movie, especially compared to the first one, is that there's an actual plot and they're actually trying to do something instead of just messing around. And plus, with what they're trying to do, they only have 3 weeks or so at first to be
yeah.
trained and to execute the mission. So they don't have a lot of time. You got to get these people through the ringer. Perfect. Setup, perfect.
I was gonna say I also like that. Like one of the payoffs was that when Tom Cruise is testing um, the durability, like the G force on the one jet in the beginning, like it later pays off later in the movie, like it correlates directly with the training. It
Yeah, 'cause
wasn't
they have to do
just it.
that crazy like ascension when they're
Yeah,
once they
it,
bomb it.
yeah, Yeah, because that easily could have just been a scene just to like, I guess, just to have it. But the fact that it comes back later, directly in correlation with the plot and the stakes, it was a nice. It was a nice touch. Nice, well written scene.
I forgot what I was gonna say. I was about to say something real quick.
I was gonna ask if you knew Colin, how much of like actual flying the jets did Tom Cruise do?
He probably did a crazy amount of it because he's a crazy person.
Well, I don't think he's allowed to fly the jets. I think they were because I saw something where they were just in like the back of the jet
He does
pretending to
have. I
fly
think he did fly some of it though. He has like a license to do this stuff.
these kinds of jets.
Yeah.
I mean, Craig, he literally strapped himself to the side of a plane that took off.
No, but like I don't know if the U.S. Navy will let him fly that. That's the thing. Like it's not so much he has a license. Like could he act with the Navy? Like, okay, you can fly this. I thought they were all just in the back.
He
You
he
might be
built
right.
he built these jets from the ground up. They're his. Yeah, I would think so. Like there would be a limit on that, or if anything, like very.
But you got to give them credit. They actually, for most of the shots, besides some of the crazy stuff, they actually filmed it. They actually filmed real jets flying around.
Yeah,
Especially seeing it in the theater was so stunning and so visceral. It was really cool to see that. Just see such dedication to a craft. Because again, on the surface level, you think it's some dumb flying movie, but it really immerses you, which is really surprising.
Yeah, because it looked great. Like you could really see like when they're flying, like their faces, like the G force on their face, like they're really struggling sometimes. Not struggling, but like you could see like it's affecting them. It's not just like a green screen, them just pretending to wiggle a joystick around
yeah.
for 3 hours or 2 hours.
Or like if they eject, like you could tell it's not just like them on a chair and them spinning. But no, like especially the visual, like where you're saying like where they're immersed in it, like the first training exercise he takes them out and he him and or it was the second time with him and Rooster, and they're doing like that cobra thing and they're just dropping all the way down, or like how like or he would go above the other jet like upside down and they would like be so synchronized with it, like it was really impressive
I think one of the
how they were able to pull
craziest
that off.
visuals in the movie, and it was such a simple shot, was when they're taking off for their final mission. And the camera just shows Tom Cruise in the cockpit, and it shows him taking off from the deck and flying, and it just looks so cool when he takes off, and then you see the kick once the jet gets off the deck and starts flying. I thought that was so cool.
And again, I'm almost assuming it's all real. Like they were
That
actually.
definitely was real. I'd be really shocked if that was CGI.
No, I'm saying like I think for like almost every shot, like I'm pretty sure they're real, except for maybe like
Yeah,
when somebody gets destroyed. But I think for most of the dog fighting, or I think it was all real, or as real as they can
especially
make
Probably
it.
some of it. I wouldn't. Probably got
yeah,
dangerous to start flying them so close to each other.
yeah, or
No,
the
I think
one
that's real too.
I mean,
or
it
what
might be.
I think maybe the one that they would
Sorry.
CGI maybe was when Tom Cruise like right after he got kicked off and then he to prove his point that the mission can be done in that time, he does the flight and he's doing the tight turns inside the mount like to close to the ground like in the valley and everything. I feel like
Yeah, I
that
don't
might
think
have
they would. I
been.
don't think they would actually do
Yeah,
that.
I was like that's too risky and that's an expensive piece of equipment.
What is it like? Only like under 100 million, or is it like 30 million for a jet?
Chump change.
I feel like that's all. Yeah, pocket change. So, like I said, I saw the first one after this. They actually mentioned Penny's name in the first one twice. So I
They
did
did.
not
I
know
I
she
still
was
missed
like
that.
a legacy character in name only.
I think I thought I remembered hearing it in the first one, but I kind of forgot about it.
They mentioned it in the beginning when Tom Cruise and Goose are talking to Mr. Strickland. They mentioned
Mr.
her name
Strickland.
very briefly, and then they mentioned her name when Tom Cruise is with Goose's wife before they start singing "Great Balls of Fire."
Uh,
So let's talk about legacy characters because they bring back really only Val Kilmer. But again, what this movie wisely does is it doesn't treat the legacy characters like piles of garbage and they make them losers. It's probably the smartest thing you could do nowadays, because if J.J. Abrams had his disgusting, dirty fingers on this movie, Tom Cruise would be like a deadbeat living in a trailer somewhere.
He'd be competing with Iceman back for this. Oh, that's a. We're
Yeah.
having like a contest. Former Top Gun people competing for the top spot
Yeah,
again.
when Iceman jokingly says he's like, just doing, who's the better pilot, and then Tom Cruise be like, let's race, and then they get him in jets.
Yeah.
In his backyard.
But they're bigger and badder jets for the J.J. Abrams edition.
Yeah, the bad guys at the end would have like 747 jets.
Which is
Listen,
no,
they would have their F-18s, and the enemy would have X-wings from Star Wars.
But I think they handled Val Kilmer very well. Because I saw an article saying that they used AI for his voice, so I was under the impression that he was going to be in the movie a decent amount. He's only in one scene. Like physically, he's in one scene.
Yeah.
And then he dies, which shocked me. I didn't think they were going to do that, but it did serve a purpose. It motivated Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
It felt nice to see Val Kilmer, because everyone should be aware that Val Kilmer doesn't have a throat, really. He had throat cancer, unfortunately, and he can't really speak. So it was nice that Tom Cruise, because they did say they were trying to make the movie without Val Kilmer, but Tom Cruise really wanted Val Kilmer in there. So it was nice to see him in this again.
See, that's when people like. I know Tom Cruise, like he's the Scientology or whatever, but like stuff like that makes me respect him. Where like he's pushing for people to be in movies because he wants them to, get a role. Or
well, we'll talk about Tom Cruise at the end, because I have some stuff to say too. So
you get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah,
like it's a good thing. Like that makes me respect somebody. He's not just like some jerk.
Yeah, he actually cares about his work. He puts integrity. He has integrity in it.
Oh, and he cares about his co-stars.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. Is he has integrity with that, like so.
I also
yeah.
Oh yeah, you go.
No, I was just gonna say with that Val Kilmer scene, like you were saying, it served a purpose, and it was actually a very heart, it was a very sad but deeper scene, like which is something like that scene alone had more heart in it than probably the entire first one.
Oh, 100%.
I thought,
100%.
yeah, it had more emotion behind it. Like, I know some of the, the old, the fanboys out there will, how dare you say that it was more heart wrenching than Goose's death? But I just thought the acting and everything, it was just very sincere, and like you could tell like they had respect, and it felt like they served together and everything. Like,
I also thought, because this movie has a little bit of nostalgia, but not in the way you'd think.
Yes.
Not like Disney hit you over the head. They have Miles Teller, who plays Goose's son, Rooster. He starts singing Great Balls of Fire. And Tom Cruise is outside, like, having a manic episode of feeling all this tremendous guilt, which also adds to the drama, but it was well done, that scene. Tom Cruise didn't start doing it because he was sad for Goose. He was literally watching image of Goose and his son performing this, and then Tom Cruise feels the guilt.
No, because even I was gonna say is like even Penny looks up and just sees him, like it looked like he was just having such a flashback, just watching all these people, like he was just, and he was also like outside the window, like he was like an outcast. But no, it was also like the nostalgia, the callbacks, the line.
I just wanted to say real quick, like about like these scenes where like they're kind of genuine, heartfelt. We don't get these kinds of scenes anymore. Everything's gotta be undercut with a joke, like haha, or something stupid like Iceman, or like he'd be like giving that heartfelt thing, and then
some stupid joke. If this was Marvel or some kind of J.J. Abrams project, when Tom Cruise is having this emotional flashback watching Goose's son, some guy would have snuck up on him and be like, "Haha, what are you looking at?"
Yeah,
that's an old song. Like, thank God you've never played that song before, right?
Or some drunk guy who from the bar like, "Hey man, thanks for the free drinks again."
It's very grating.
Yeah, no, but I was gonna say with the callbacks of how they did a nice job blending in the nostalgia was, when after the exercise went wrong with Phoenix and Bob, um, and they were in the they were in the hospital. They're going to be fine, whatever. They're just and Tom Cruise comes in to talk to Miles Teller, and he quotes the line that his commanding officer said to him when Goose died.
I don't remember that.
Did anyone pick that up? No,
I
was
did.
I
I
the only
saw the
one?
first one after this.
But when Tom Cruise in the first one when Goose died like a punk, his commanding officer came to him and he's like, you're gonna lose, you fly long enough, you're gonna lose you're gonna lose your wingman, like you'll lose more of them. Tom Cruise like said that line to Rooster. So, but he didn't, there wasn't like music to it or like to let you know, like, hey, you remember? Like it was just it blended in well, and then the scene just kept going on naturally.
I was also going to say that this isn't related to nostalgia, but you didn't have to see the first movie to understand what's going on in this.
Yeah.
They very, very well done how they just bring you up to speed on what happened the first one. They don't hit you over the head a bunch of times.
Well,
They,
honestly, like nothing would happen in the first one. What
well,
could you
no, at
possibly?
least like the the, the core of the character drama. You know, Goose is dead. They had a little flashback of that.
Also, I was gonna say is I liked how they didn't touch on the relationship, Tom Cruise's relationship from the first movie. They just completely disregarded it, and because like you were saying, like if you didn't see the first one, that relationship, you would have never known that that was a relationship, and it like they did a good job, like where they just cut it out. Like it wasn't him flashing back. Like Penny did a good job. Like they did a good job having Penny there to fill that. You
I
know,
mean, have you seen the girl from the first Top Gun now?
I've seen I've seen them comparing Tom Cruise, who is
I've seen
in
those
that
memes.
in the football scene. Like I was like, dude, he is jacked for his how old is he? Like 60?
He's 60 now, but I think this movie was filmed in 2019.
Yeah, I know, but they were showing pictures of him versus her.
Yeah. I think also the cast is really good. And it was a
Yeah,
diverse cast, but it wasn't in your face. Everybody had a purpose. It wasn't so hit you on the nose like how diverse we are. It was subtle. And I like it when it's subtle.
yeah.
You don't have to hit everyone over the head saying,
Or
you know, common sense things. Diversity is good. Whatever. You don't have to hit the audience over the head with
or
that.
or bag or bag was a hangman.
Yeah.
He
Called
makes the
Bagman.
joke. Your wingman, and then he makes like the little joke at the at Phoenix. But it wasn't like like how Captain Marvel was about it. It was just it was more of just like a joke, like how people would together in a unit, and that was it. There was no like continuous like look. But you were saying it's subtle. They blend it well.
Yes. It seems like maybe the people behind this movie, and I know Tom Cruise is a producer, they take notes of why audiences hate movies now, and it's because it's the on the nose pandering, like Lightyear, the new Lightyear movie that came out. It is bombing terribly. It is a horrific box office bomb. That's because it's pandering. It's pretty much telling you what you're doing wrong and why you were wrong. But this movie is just pure fun. It's not dumb fun. There is some stuff that people could get behind, especially the central conflict, which is that Tom Cruise made a promise to Rooster's mother that he would like nix him on going into Top Gun. But Rooster doesn't know that, and he's angry at Tom Cruise because he thinks he's deliberately stopping him. Nice little
Yeah.
drama.
Yeah.
I also want to say too, like whenever a movie is getting promoted now, like they'll bring up stuff like the diversity stuff, as opposed to talking about the movie, like why it's good, why we're making it, all the stuff you would normally talk about. This, like for example, this one, I think they were just trying to talk about new ways to make the movie and stuff. They wanted to make a good movie, blah blah blah. Like lately, it's like, oh, it's diverse, blah 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 stuff. They've already said before it's our first black character movie. Like we've done that several times already.
Just for China to remove them on a poster.
Yeah.
Wait, Disney panders?
No, it's never happened before. There's because that's every time it's like, oh, this is our first time doing this, but like they've done it like 10 times already.
What?
Do you know how much money their movies have made, Craig? That means they're good movies. You stop it.
Yeah, okay.
I know, Daniel, you didn't see in the theaters. Craig, I think you did. Did your theater also, when the movie started, it showed Tom Cruise talking about it? Did your movie also do that?
Yeah, which every time that happens, it
I
always I
I
don't
had a
like that.
flashback from X-Men Apocalypse because we saw that together when that came out, and I remember whoever played Storm. As soon as it started, she's like, "Everyone worked really hard on this.
Yeah,
It
like the
was so much
guilting
fun."
you.
I'm like, everyone works hard on professionally made movies. What do you think this is?
I don't like this because like again, I got the flashback to X-Men Apocalypse, and I feel like
Yeah,
they're trying to guilt me into liking the movie. I mean, thank God this was good already,
yeah.
but
But I was like, oh no.
yeah, I don't like that kind of stuff. Like, don't guilt me. I mean, I guess that just maybe Tom Cruise. Like,
But Tom Cruise wasn't saying like please like it, or like subtly trying to say please like it, please it's bad. He was just saying like the stuff they did to make the movie and like the techniques.
yeah,
So
like it
he
was yeah, it
wasn't
wasn't as
begging
bad.
anyone to like it like Storm. Like, oh, everyone worked really hard. Like, yeah, of course people worked hard. There's unions, and they're all trying to do a union job. It's like, come on.
Tom Cruise is like, I will not stop running until you like this movie.
Oh, and Craig, I made a bet with you. I said,
I actually was laughing when that scene.
yeah, when Tom Cruise is running on the beach. Did I say he was gonna run at least once?
I think I agreed too because like doesn't every movie he has. I mean, this was
Yeah,
probably the one movie where he might not, just because they're being
or in
jets,
jets.
but
Yeah,
he found a way.
yeah.
Is
It
he
looks like he
like
still has wheels.
he has to be aware of that like thing, like that aspect of him and his characters that people like just expect him to run and everything, or he just
Well,
likes it. I don't know.
I think he likes it because wasn't he? Didn't he do track or something?
Yeah, he did like track and football as in high school.
Yeah, 8 decades ago, but he's still in good shape. So
I did,
I
I
won't
did,
make so many jokes.
I did chuckle at that when I saw the beach scene. He was just bolting.
Like I know it wasn't supposed to be funny, but just the fact he has to run in every movie, it gets a chuckle out of me because I feel like this would be the one movie maybe they break that streak.
Yeah, still funny nonetheless seeing him run around.
Oh yeah, I'm not taking it back.
What else? What else? We talked about the character drama. I guess the general plot, which we touched upon, but they're trying to bomb an unnamed country, and they're trying to bomb their nuclear. There's like some spot
Some
that's
illegal nuclear
yeah, that's
facility.
very bad. So they have to very carefully trek through like a mountain with jets that could fly underneath the SAM turrets, so they don't get caught, and they only have like a certain window before they do get caught by the more advanced jets, whatever the F-18s. I don't know.
They had like what, like 2.5 minutes, and then Tom Cruise did it in like 2:15.
Well, the point is the enemy has
Yeah,
they have more
they actually have
advanced
the
jets, and they have like the
yeah
whole area is surrounded with weapons, SAM turrets, more advanced jets. So you know what they're up against, and you know like they can't mess around. No one
yeah.
in the end, no one tells a single joke. They're very serious. Because again, if this was Star Wars with J.J. Abrams, whoa, he almost missed me, ha ha ha! Like everyone's very serious.
Well, 'cause they could die at any second.
Yes,
Yeah.
There's not like tens of sequels ready to come out, so you know they're all going to survive.
and I guess I was shocked when Tom Cruise's jet got hit. Because this is like one of the recent few Tom Cruise movies that they acknowledge he's getting older. Most of the
Yeah.
time, they don't bat an eye about Tom Cruise being 50 something and running around and punching people. But this one, they kind of recognize that you're getting up there in age. How much longer can you do this? And they were like, even before we took off, they were possibly foreshadowing that he might die.
Yeah.
And then when he got hit and it cut to black, I was like, there's no way they just did that. There's no way. But yeah, he survived.
It would have been funny. I don't see Maverick, and they zoom in. They just see him running on the ground.
I guess this isn't a complaint, but the ending did feel very Mission Impossible, where Rooster saves Tom Cruise last second after he survived his jet getting hit, and then they have to run to a base and steal an older model jet, and then fly out of enemy territory, then fight off two jets before a third one comes after them. I still liked it. Don't get me wrong, but to me, I was like, this is getting a little silly.
Did you that was a callback, you realize that, right? The jet they stole.
I know that, and they're also saying how it was antiquated and that they wouldn't stand a chance against the newer jets.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's a
Not that
jet they
subtle,
flew in the
but
first one. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's like it's at the end of the movie, kind of, give it a bit of a pass.
I mean, because everything else, the movie's like, I wasn't
Yeah.
bored at all, and I was very tired that day when I saw it. I had work, but I saw it late at night,
you
and I
work.
wasn't. Yeah, I know, right? And I wasn't bored. It really like captivated me, and I was engrossed in the movie. And I was like, I think the showing was maybe 9 o'clock at night. I don't remember. And this is like a 130 something minute movie, and I wasn't bored at all.
Yeah, I was actually invested in the movie. It wasn't like the first one where I was just kind of like counting down the minutes, like, all right, like this one I was, you're, because again, the characters and people, they feel like actual people with things on the line, not just a bunch of hot shots goofing around on a military base.
So after they hijacked the F-14, I think I don't know jets. They were saying F-18 or F-14, F-16. I don't know. I think at the end too, because let's talk about Hangman, where he comes across as like the Val Kilmer kind of role, where he's cocky, but he's not over the top high school bully. He just also wants the position in Top Gun. You understand what he wants, his motives.
Yeah.
See, he was a lot like Tom Cruise when he was in Top Gun.
Yeah, he's cocky. He's more smug, and I like that than Tom Cruise was. And I like how they actually use him at the end.
Well,
That's
that's what I'm
what,
saying. Like he was just like almost like Tom Cruise.
yeah.
Like he was the one who would leave your wingman. He was the more cocky one. He was probably the best one there. But and he helped save him at the end because he was
Yes.
like came in late like Tom Cruise.
Well, I like how he was, since they're a team. Even though he was disappointed that Tom Cruise picked Rooster, he was still like when he was waiting in the cockpit, just hearing everything. He was invested. I like that. It's a small detail. Like I'm sure if J.J. Abrams did that, they would have had him look bored and miserable that he wasn't on the mission.
Throwing a temper tantrum.
Yeah, he didn't really he didn't throw a temper tantrum at all either. He accepted it when Tom Cruise said he's picking Rooster.
Well, so that's the difference between adults and children, and movies for adults and movies for children. You know,
Yeah.
if you make a movie for adults, they're gonna act like adults, and adults will appreciate that.
And of course, he saves them at the end. Because for a second, I thought again, like, oh man, like this looks pretty rough. Are they going to be able to get out? And Tom Cruise is saying, "I'm sorry, Goose." Like it's very remorseful, and I was getting a little nervous. Not gonna lie.
But Hangman, he didn't leave his teammate out to dry this time.
This is your savior speaking. Yeah, it's just fun action that isn't pandering. Every part of the movie has a purpose. There's no stupid ad libbing like in every Marvel movie and in every Star Wars. It's deftly paced. I think it's just a great summer movie. Just a great movie in
Yeah.
general, not even a great
Yeah.
summer movie.
I was gonna say, like, yeah, no scene felt too long or anything. The pacing was very well done on it.
Yeah.
That's why again I said it was like a better Top Gun because a lot of the same structure is there. Like, Tom Cruise, he does something stupid, has to go back to Top Gun.
Well,
He
he
has to
didn't do
train
anything
the.
stupid in this one to go
Well, he
back to
did
Top
break
Gun.
the hypersonic jet or whatever.
Yeah, but that wasn't, stupid.
Well, he wasn't supposed to do it.
Yeah, but it also kind of. Yeah, you know what? You're right. You're right.
I mean, you could say stupid, maybe reckless is a better word, but
Yeah,
Yeah,
reckless.
reckless. Yeah, because there was purpose behind it. Because actually, both times when he broke the first one, it was to save his like the department because they're about to get shut down.
yeah.
And then
Well,
the second,
reckless.
yeah, yeah, he just he does he like shoot first, ask questions later kind of mentality. Yeah, because they did the same thing in the training exercise where they went too low and everything.
Then they have to train the students, and then at the end, there's a graduation where they pick the people, and then they have to go do a mission at the end. So that's, I feel like, again, the basic structure's there, but this is just much better written. There's actual goals and characters and stuff.
Yes, there's actual stakes too, because as we said, they have such a short window to train everybody and to execute the mission. And as we talked about earlier, this is like, it's not in your face nostalgia. It's more like a love letter to the first one.
Yeah,
Because they had
Yeah,
the
it's a
same,
nice way of saying it.
they had the same
Yeah.
shot where Tom Cruise is on the motorcycle and he's smiling like a creepy person with the sunglasses. They have the same opening, which I thought was a really nice touch. Because again, I didn't know that's how the first one started. I thought that was really well done.
So I like how it kind of shows you how it operates too. Like, you know, they're not like telling you, like they're just showing you this is how like they, you know, catch the stuff and how they
Yeah,
send them
that was
off.
cool. I never knew that's how they do it. I had no idea. That was cool.
I didn't either. So
I never thought they would actually catch them. I thought they would just decrease speed and then just. I mean, I guess that wouldn't make any sense. What do I know?
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I was gonna say is like because they could, like you're saying, like how they treated the like legacy characters and like with the nostalgia, like they could have easily had someone like replace Goose as like and like ruin that, like where they try to have Tom Cruise like Maverick be buddy buddy with someone else, but he actually was like flying solo in this one.
yes, and the cast is great, the entire cast. But even Miles Teller is, who's normally really good, but he has a knack for being in bad movies sometimes. He was in this like Get Your Own Job movie, Fantastic Four. He was in Whiplash, but I don't know. I feel like he's in a lot of bad movies. But he's not bad himself. He's a good actor. He was really good in this. He sold it pretty well, even if he had that weird mustache.
Yeah, and that it really looked off. It really looked off when it was like in direct sunlight.
Yeah, I mean he looked just like Goose though. Obviously that was the
Yeah,
idea, but
yeah,
I don't know. I think this is like structurally, this is like a perfect movie. It hits all those beats. It's a nice love letter to the first one. It's not obnoxious with its nostalgia. It's everything you want a good movie to be.
yeah.
well, yeah, this movie just wants to entertain you, and that's it. No hidden message. Just it's a fun,
Well, I
entertaining
guess you
movie.
could argue the hidden message is, it makes you want to sign up for the Navy.
But it's not. That's not their goal though. Like
Oh, I
that's
know, I know, I know.
What if that's what Tom Cruise said when he comes out before the movie?
Because I sent the video to you guys in the chat, but to our 15 people and Peg, there's this Ring doorbell camera footage of someone behind a Tom Cruise poster, and he so creepily like gets closer to the camera, backs up, and then like trots along out of sight. Hilarious. I guess we should talk about. I mean, before we segue into something else. I recommend the movie. I can't recommend it enough. I'm so happy that it's doing well. That it made over $1 billion. It passed that bad Doctor Strange movie. It's the number one grossing movie of 2022, and I'm so happy for Tom Cruise.
I did want to say you made a comment earlier about these characters weren't ad libbing. You're partially wrong, because while they weren't ad libbing, I saw a video or an article where the people in like I said, they were in the cockpits and they had to control the cameras on themselves when they were flying the jets. So they may not have been ad libbing, but they were controlling the cameras ad
Well,
hoc.
I meant like terrible ad libbing.
I know. I just want to
Yeah, yeah.
say that you were
Why do you
wrong,
do that? I did see that article where they had to like direct themselves.
which I think which it's pretty cool. Like that's why everything looks so good. Like they were doing it themselves to get the right feel when they were going around in the jets.
Yes, it's a
Yeah.
very well done movie. Very visceral. Very fun. Can't recommend it enough.
Oh, I think that was great. That was good too. Maybe not as much as you, because you worship the ground Tom Cruise walks on, but I thought it was good too.
I would say it's his best movie. It is better than Mission Impossible
Oh,
Fallout.
I haven't seen enough of his movies to make that comment, but I very much enjoyed it. I highly recommend it. I was shocked because I had no stakes going into this movie, so
It's not my favorite Tom Cruise movie, but it's probably up there.
Oh, yours is probably World of Worlds, right?
Yeah, I
Of
was.
course, like that movie.
Let's talk about Tom Cruise. So, as everyone knows, he's a weirdo in real life.
Do Craig and I have to be here for this?
But he's the one thing that I always admired of him is that he's committed to the movies and he will not short sell anything of the movie. Mostly The Mummy, no, but he's very dedicated to his craft, and he doesn't pander to anybody with his movies. He's
Well, okay, sorry, keep
yeah,
going.
he's committed to making a good movie that as best as it can be. He can hit or miss. The Mummy, I know he had a lot of creative control. Big miss. But his intention is always in the best interest of the movie.
Well, and the audience too, I would say.
Yeah,
Well,
he
yeah.
has integrity. He has integrity in his work. He's not just doing it for a paycheck.
Yeah, he wants to deliver a good movie for the audience because he knows you don't upset the audience because they're the ones who are seeing your embarrassing movie most of the times. Don't upset them. That is what Disney is starting to learn not to do. That's what Ghostbusters learned the hard way in 2016. You don't make them mad.
Well, not even make them mad. Like I would say, you don't try to antagonize them. Like you don't be, oh, you're stupid, but also watch your movie. Like it never goes over. Well, not just like in movies, but like in any sort of like media product. Like you just don't do that.
Yes. And I guess people could say, I saw, what did I see? I saw, sometimes, I'm not a Redditor, I don't have a Reddit account, but I sometimes browse what people say.
You sicken me.
I'm sorry. I get bored at work. And I see a lot of people who don't like this movie, and they're saying, like, Tom Cruise plays the same character in every movie, which is true, but he's like a last of the kind of a breed, where there's not going to be another movie star like him, whose career spanned over 40 years of being in action movies.
Just give The Rock Tom.
No, he will never come close to Tom Cruise because, unlike The Rock, Tom Cruise can actually act.
He's actually in good shape.
Yeah,
Tom Cruise.
Yeah, he's not some roided up meathead steroid user. He can deliver your lines that you write for him in a convincing manner.
He can actually move.
Yeah, he can actually touch his shoulders.
Like we were making fun of Tom Cruise's running, but The Rock can't run. Like I've seen him try to run in movies, it is pathetic.
He's not. He doesn't move.
He can't run. Like I don't like. He's like so top heavy.
I picture him like in the water, just like a buoy.
He can't even float in the Dead Sea.
But anyway, yeah, no, I see what you're saying. Like, I never, I've always kind of just been indifferent to Tom Cruise. I never, like if he makes a good movie, he makes a good movie like this one, or like I enjoyed War of the Worlds as well. But it is nice to just generally see a person who has very much tries to keep integrity in their work, and like as much as his stunts, I could you call him crazy for his stunts or whatever, but I always appreciate that about an actor, especially an action hero, that they're willing to be invested in their character and actually follow through with it. Like it just shows that they actually care about it. I don't know. To me, that always it's always nice to see like an action hero actually do the scenes and everything. It's not just them doing the close up and then it cuts to someone in a wig doing all their sequences for them. But I can respect that about him. That you can at least take away that he has integrity in whatever he does with his movies, good or bad.
I was gonna say like the original Top Gun. I was influenced by public opinion or popular opinion of Tom Cruise, and they are wrong about him. People are gonna say he's like this crazy weirdo. Maybe that's true.
Probably half true.
Yeah, probably half true. Or I don't know, because even like people who work with him never say anything. He's that weird.
Yeah, Simon Pegg always talks. I mean, granted, they work together in the movie. I imagine he's not gonna publicly bash Tom Cruise, say like he's the worst person. But everyone always speaks highly of him. They always talk about how dedicated he is.
But like also like the other actors and like even like the crew, like there's I don't think there's everything really bad people say about him.
And even that video that surfaced 2 years ago with him screaming at people on set, He has every right to be. It was during the pandemic, and they're trying to get people. I think that was the only movie that was still in production when everything else is getting shut down. And
Yeah, 'cause he was mad
people were
because
goofing on him, and it's like, no, he's trying to keep the industry alive, and he's trying to not alive, but he's trying to keep it flowing still at that time. He's not trying to have the movie shut down. He's trying to make sure everyone's safe.
well, again, the fact that if the movie gets shut down, like other people could lose their jobs, so he's also has the crew's best interest in mind
Yeah,
too.
he's a producer on that movie, so he. I remember everyone was dogging on him for that. It's like you can't get mad at him for that.
Was that for what, Mission Impossible?
Yeah, it was for the Dead Reckoning Part 1. But this is 2 years ago when everything was getting shut down. He was trying to. I don't know. They were just yelling at him for no reason. Those people, or everyone was making fun of Tom Cruise for no reason.
Yeah, he cares about the movie and the crew. Oh my god, what a monster! But yeah, I like what you said, Colin. Like that was a well prepared speech about Tom Cruise.
Yes, I was planning it for.
Yeah, it was almost like it was written down.
Oh, you caught me. We just move that. But I feel like, as we said, everyone thinks he is a weirdo. I'm not gonna.
See, can we even say that though? Because that's what I've always heard, and people tend to be wrong. So I don't know. I would give him the benefit of the doubt.
He's a half weirdo. How about that?
I mean, listen, regardless of what he does outside his movies,
yeah, I could care less.
It's again like with I guess separation, between the person and the character. So
yes,
but,
he's not okay. So the best thing for him is he's not a Bryan Singer or Roman Polanski. It's the best thing because in film.
Wow, what a duo to be compared with.
No, because when you're saying that, you're just reminding me what I'd hear in film classes where we talk about Chinatown, and it's a great movie, right? But people are saying, do you separate the product from the person who created it? It just reminded me of that.
I mean, to me, I take it on a case by case basis. Like it depends really what it is. I don't think you can really give a definitive answer one way or the other.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it comes down to sometimes you do have to separate the person from their work, and sometimes you don't.
Like for example, if Roman Polanski made a movie called Lolita.
Oh no.
You heard about that movie or that book?
No, but I know it's that plane. Yeah.
Well, well, you can kind of guess what the movie's about. If Roman Polanski made a movie about that, I don't think I could ever watch that because that'd be very creepy and very uncomfortable.
Yes.
On top of the movie, I think from what I've heard, it's very weird and.
Is that his autobiography? Did he write that? What?
Well, no,
I know who wrote it. It's a joke.
I know, but just that's an instance where I don't think you could separate it.
But just like with what people rag on Cruise for, it's very harmless. What he does in his spare time, yeah, whatever, it doesn't matter. But he
makes good movies. He cares
he's not going out of his way to sabotage his own career and insult the audience.
Well, I was gonna say, like we were saying with separation, it's not like you were saying with the Roman Polanski thing with Lolita, like
he didn't work on it. I'm just saying like he did.
No, but it's not like I was gonna say it's not like Cruise is like trying to bring in Scientology to every movie, or he's trying to put his own thing on it, like where he knows how to keep the work separate from the person.
Yes.
So like his movies.
Ever promoted Scientology in a movie?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Like
he's very smart with that.
That's what I say, but also his movies are just generally straight action movies. Like it's not, there isn't really like that guy was, like you said, like people say he plays the same character, but he knows how to just keep it that way. It's not Disney adding agenda stuff into it. It's just he's just this is the character, this is the story, that's it.
He's the traditional movie hero who always wins at the end, but you root for him. He's not obnoxious. He doesn't have an annoying laugh like Seth Rogen. He's a very likable person. Like, at least when he's acting, he's very charismatic. If he has the right material, He wasn't very likable in The Mummy. I can't defend that.
Well, okay, but I feel like I don't think you can give him all the blame. I mean, it was a Kurtzman crony movie.
Yeah.
Or not Kurtzman, J.J. Abrams crony movie. I think it was it Orsi?
Kurtzman. It was Kurtzman.
Whatever. One of those idiots. Dumb and Dumber. Yes, I will defend Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely like the last action movie hero. But I can't imagine people can sustain a career like Cruise and still do the stuff he does. His own stunts, it's ridiculous what this man will do.
Well, no one has dedication because people don't even do it now. Like besides him, like
Yeah.
what kind of movies are made that with like a lot of like real stunts anymore? I'm not a movie buff. Like I don't think I know
The only
much.
person I would even compare him in stunts to would be like Jackie Chan, but
Well, I'm saying like who
he's a
could
one
like
of a
carry the
kind.
torch? You know what I mean? Like who
Yeah,
would be the next big
like,
stunt person?
but yeah, I was gonna say like, I think it reminds me of like, even though I know you didn't, you kind of lost interest in it, and I know people have mixed views on it, but The Witcher, regardless of like how you oversee the show and everything, the main guy Henry Cavill, who plays Geralt, he loves the games. He's invested in the character, and he really you could just tell that he has integrity to it. So regardless of like the show and stuff, and he does all the stunts, he does like the sword fighting, he trained. But it's like Cruise, like where you appreciate that they have integrity in their work, and it makes you like them more because of it, regardless of the outcome of it. But they at least have they care about it.
Yeah, he doesn't phone in performances. Like, no matter what, it could be even some of his bad movies, he doesn't phone it in.
He's not doing it for the paycheck. I mean, he's got all the money in the world, so
Yeah, he doesn't
And it's
need money.
And I was gonna say it's crazy when you could tell like when actors are clearly phoning in a performance versus like they actually care about the project.
Yeah, I agree. But we just had to. I feel like we had to talk about Tom Cruise because we made some jabs at him in the past about what he's he may or may not be a weirdo.
I've changed my opinion. He is
Yeah, he always runs around.
well, which is true, but
Yeah, no,
He's
but
probably
I'm just saying
he's
we've made
running
jokes
as we
about that
speak.
in the past. Yeah, he probably is running around somewhere.
I take it back. I stand for Tom Cruise.
So,
Yes.
yeah, I was gonna say, listen, he's whatever he is outside of his characters, that's on him. But in terms of his actual work, I respect him for it.
Yes, he cares about delivering a satisfying experience for the audience. I can't say the same about Marvel or Disney or all those other studios.
Zack Snyder does.
No, he's another one. He's another weirdo. He's an actual weirdo. Like, we make fun of Tom Cruise because of whatever he believes, but Zack Snyder's an actual weirdo.
There's so many quotes of him saying like the weirdest things, and like
Yeah.
he's clearly like has the mentality of like a teenager.
Yeah, an angsty teenager. Maybe we'll have an episode about Zack Snyder and some of his bad movies later down the road.
I just wish that
Like
he
all
was
his
able to.
movies.
I just wish he was able to direct the new Batman. That would have been a good dark take.
Yeah, it'd be like
God.
too dark or just screen's just black the whole time.
There's one more thing I want to bring
yes.
about the movie because
Yes.
I think we're done talking about Tom Cruise.
Yes, we are.
No, we're done talking.
I think that people like some of the criticism to try to throw at the movie is that it's like U.S. war propaganda, and I don't see how that's true. I mean, they don't even tell you, even in the first one, they don't even tell you who they're fighting. I mean, I guess you can make assumptions, but they're
Yeah.
not telling you like who they're fighting. It's just this is what they're doing. Like it's like yeah, this is
Yeah.
why we need to destroy the Russians or destroy the Chinese. It's just they want to make a movie about or Navy
Yeah,
fighter jets.
yeah. Because I mean, realistically, you could put them in a different country under a different military thing, and it would still fit because it does. There's no propaganda to it. It's just
Yeah.
characters.
Oh yeah,
and
that was some of the
military.
other stuff I saw on that disgusting site Reddit. Where like, oh, it's a big piece of prop. They're saying how is Lightyear a piece of propaganda when Top Gun Maverick was doing X, Y, and Z, where it's like, oh, it's pro Navy or whatever they're saying. I'm like, they're focused on making a good movie, not trying to wag their finger at you and saying what you're doing wrong and you should accept everything. They're not doing that. That's what the movie. It's trying to be a movie first, not a political message first.
Because is it like the Navy might like try to get recruitment out of this? Because I think they did get big numbers when the first one came out, but like they made
But,
flying jets cool. Like,
but
can you
also
blame
keep
them?
in mind when the first one came out. You have to keep it in its context. It came out in the '80s. Cold War was still going on, so if there was, but this one, so even if there was, keep it in its context. But it's still, even for an '80s movie, when you could have easily made blatant propaganda, there wasn't.
There was Red Dawn in the 80s.
Yeah. So I mean, like, yeah, exactly. That's actually a perfect comparison. Like,
Can't
so
get more on the nose than that one.
yeah. But even if the one the '80s did, I was like, keep it in its time, like, you know what I mean. And this is it's connected. So, but they didn't make any there wasn't any propaganda to it.
I
Maybe
think I think it's
maybe get a
people.
fighter pilot's license. I don't know.
I think people are just upset. Maybe those Disney cronies are just upset that Lightyear is embarrassing. It's doing terrible at the box office.
I
And then they're seeing why Maverick is doing so well, and they can't put it together. They can't figure
oh
out
yeah
why it made $1 billion, why it passed Doctor
yeah
Strange.
yeah. Yeah, these are all the people that they love getting Disney stuff just shoved down their throat, and they foam at the mouth and throw their popcorn at the screen because they mentioned something from the same movie. So when they see something else, it's like, oh, what? It's like they just took the red pill finally.
I also think too, like a lot of movies, like people want the U.S. to be the bad guy, and I guess when the U.S. isn't the bad guy, like it's just a bunch of service or people serving, just doing their job and doing good. It's like I don't know, like they malfunction almost. Like they don't like the military being competent or just
they
doing their
don't
job.
they don't like their own country.
Well, yeah, I mean I think that's what the deep seated issue.
How dare you live in America and actually like it, Craig? How dare you?
I'm just saying, I think reason why these idiots are seething is because it's the highest grossing movie of the year, and it passed all these other bad movies.
And it didn't have to
And
have an agenda to be
they
good.
can't understand why. And then it all boils down to that the audience just wants to pay to see something that'll entertain them and that they'll like.
Yeah,
They're
escape
not,
reality for
yeah.
2 hours.
I mean, like, I'm looking at the top movies now. Jurassic World has now crossed 878. That's unfortunate. But even Thor: Love and Thunder, it's
Wait,
entering its second
wait,
week.
this beat Jurassic. This has beaten Jurassic World already.
What?
Yeah, it's the top one.
It's made 1.18 billion.
No, I understand that, but I thought Jurassic World being
No,
having
it's
its fan
probably
base. I even though it's bad, I know I understand. Believe me, we saw it, but like I still would have thought like it still would have grossed over 1 billion by now because of how the fan bases are.
no. Yeah, Thor: Love and
Wow.
Thunder isn't doing too hot. It's entering its second week and it's made 329. Not doing too well.
I mean, just out of curiosity, is there any other big movies that are coming out that could even threaten it?
I don't think
I just
so.
thought I thought Jurassic World would have been like the only one to rival it. Like
Yeah, I thought so too.
I thought Jurassic World would have been over 1 billion at least by now.
I mean, the Batman made 770. Doctor Strange made 954. Jurassic World 3 878. Minions made 420.
Minions.
Yeah, it's the sixth highest grossing.
It's still going on. Oh my god.
But bottom line, as we're saying, no one can. Those idiots can't understand why. It comes down to just making a good product for the audience to enjoy, and that's what
Yeah.
this movie is.
Good
And Tom
characters, good
Cruise
plot.
delivered. Yes.
Yeah.
Anything else? Anything else anyone has to say?
No, it's a really good movie. I recommend it.
Yes. We can't recommend it enough. It probably might still be in theaters. I don't know. Probably not. Maybe not. If you can, try to see it in a theater. That's what I would say. Very immersive, very visceral movie.
Get the full experience.
So yeah, I guess I've been Colin.
I've been Craig.
And I've been Daniel.
This was actually a Tom Cruise propaganda podcast.
Yes.
Oh no, we're gonna get backlash, boys.
Oh no, he's gonna run to your house. Watch out, Peg.
Peg has now some ammo.
Oh god. Oh yeah.
Those popular kids will pay.
Yeah, in his murder confession room.
Is the unbiased opinion a bunch of Scientologists?
Are they operating Thetan level 5s?